Hey, I'm Iggy Davers of I'mNotSettling.com. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to talk today about how what we think about grows. Or another way to put it is, where you put your focus is where you end up going. So my son is playing soccer, and the other day I was with him at his soccer practice, sitting in my little folding chair under the shade of a tree, watching them practice their drills and all that stuff. And towards the end of the practice, they were taking shots at the goal, trying to get it past one of their teammates who was being goalkeeper. Now, I would not want to be that goalkeeper because they were pounding those balls so hard toward that little kid. But here's what I was noticing. More often than not, one of the teammates would get up, take their time, they'd focus, they would kick that ball with all their might, and it would go directly to the goalkeeper, who would either deflect it or just solidly catch the ball. Over and over and over again, this was happening. A couple of them actually kicked the ball and scored. They got it past the goalkeeper. So instead of watching their foot or their leg or where the ball was actually going, I started watching their faces. And I could see that the ones who ended up kicking the ball directly to the goalkeeper were looking at the goalkeeper. They were looking at the person that they wanted to try to get around, but instead they were kicking the ball directly to that person, to that point. And those that were scoring, they were looking at not the goalkeeper, but the left corner, the right corner, up above the goalkeeper's head. They were looking at all the other space around that goalkeeper. And honestly, it's a great metaphor for how life really works. And that is, when we want something and we focus on it, we head toward that destination, right? Unfortunately, most of us spend the majority of our mental energy thinking about what it is we don't want. And guess what happens when we think about what it is we don't want? We're actually still giving our energy, our vibration, our focus to that thing that we're trying to avoid, the place we don't want to go, because it's impossible to not think about a thing. I heard this example a long time ago from a mentor of mine who said, okay, try this. Right now, think about the Statue of Liberty. And there may be some people watching this who are not American. Hopefully they know what I'm talking about. But if you know what I'm talking about, the Statue of Liberty sits outside New York City in the harbor. Think about the Statue of Liberty. Can you picture it? Can you picture the shape of it? The arm up in the air, holding the book in the other arm, on the pedestal, the sort of toga-looking thing, the color, maybe the water around it, the island it sits on. You're thinking about all these things, right? Great. You got a picture in your mind. Now, in this next phase of the exercise, here's what I want you to do. Don't think about the Statue of Liberty. What? You still think about it, right? It's still in your brain. Try not thinking about the Statue of Liberty. How do you do that? Well, most people can't, because thinking about a thing and trying to not think about a thing still puts that thing into your energy, your focus, and your thoughts. The real way to not think about the Statue of Liberty is to force your mind to think about something else, because another universal law is we can't hold two thoughts at the same time. We can't think about two things at the same time. We'll get into that in another episode. But let's bring it back to something I said earlier, which is most of us are spending all of our mental energy thinking about things we don't want. We don't want a small amount of money in our bank account. We don't want the job that we have. We don't want maybe the relationship that we're in. We don't want stress. We don't want to be languishing. We don't want to be sad. We don't want hardship. We don't want struggle. And so we're thinking about all these things that we don't want. And here's what happens. We end up strengthening those things that we actually don't want because we're thinking about them. The mind doesn't know the difference. Whether you're cloaking it in I want it or I don't want it, you're thinking about something. And so your experience of life will become more of that thing that you're thinking about. Whether it's Something you want or something you don't. I hope that makes sense. So let me explain another way. If you're worrying all the time about harm coming to you or to your children, or if you're worried all the time about something bad that could happen, you're actually giving power to those things because you're holding them in your brain space. You're holding them in your vibration, in your energy. Hey, a lot of us feel like we should be happier than we are. Or we should be able to tackle life with more energy, drive, focus, enthusiasm, right? That was the case for me, and it turned out there was a missing piece. And the Mental Wellness Company delivered what I needed. Their nootropics, gut-brain connection products, energy products, drive products, focus products, sleep products, pain relief products, their natural products changed my life. Leave a life behind of burnout, stressed out, anxiousness, feelings of depression, brain fog, sleepless nights, and weight gain, and enter resilience, energy, focus, drive, enthusiasm, happiness, hopefulness, joy, creativity, confidence, good sleep, releasing unwanted weight. I mean, I am the best version of myself now, and it was because I was just missing what this company delivers. If any of that sounds good to you, I invite you to go check out their website, amare.com. And if you want to try anything that's there, just use my discount code. You can get an extra $10 off of your first purchase with the discount code 14621 in the checkout process. Yes, they have a tremendously generous compensation program for anybody who's looking for an additional stream of income as an affiliate or as a team builder, and that is fantastic. But if nothing else, go check out these products because there is power in these natural guaranteed products. Amare.com, discount code 14621. Hey, if you're monetizing anything at all on social media, I'm going to recommend to you that you check out and use a Stan Store. Stan Store is built for the mobile experience, and that's where all of us are spending 99% of our time when we're on social media. That becomes incredibly important when you're trying to move someone from something they see on your social to something you're offering so that there's no friction and that they feel compelled to go ahead and enter their contact information or their credit card information or both. With a Stan Store, you can literally offer anything you can imagine, whether that's opt-ins, digital downloads, a course that you build and host and sell in a Stan Store, booking appointments with you for whatever service you may offer, asking you questions, giving you the opportunity to sell consultations, video responses, and it's fully functional so that you can see all of your analytics, collect emails, integrate it with whatever email service you use, and connect it to your Stripe. So upgrade your monetization game by getting a Stan Store right now. Use my link to get a 14-day free trial. That's join.stan.store/Eggy Davers. And if you haven't looked at a Stan Store before, go check out mine. It's stan.store/Eggy Davers. You can get your free trial from there or go directly to join.stan.store/Eggy Davers. But back to the soccer story, the teammates who were focusing on the empty, unguarded spaces of the net that would allow them to score a point, scored the point. The teammates who were focusing on where they didn't want to go, the goalkeeper kicked it right into his arms. And I've heard this same sort of analogy used with pilots. Pilots are taught the same thing. If there's an obstacle, don't look at the obstacle. Look where you want to go instead. Same thing with whitewater rafting. If you ever take a lesson in whitewater rafting, the instructor will say, if there's a great big tree in the water or a great big rock in the water, I'm not going to point at it and say, don't go there, because everybody will row right to it. I'm going to point at the empty space, the calmer water, the clear space. I'm going to say, row there, so we can avoid those things that we don't want to crash into. Where we focus is where we go. The way I started this whole episode was what we focus on grows. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, you've got to figure out what it is you do want and try to interrupt the habitual thinking that may be going on in your head or the habitual worrying. Interrupt it and flip the script and think instead about what it is you do want, where it is you do want to go, what it is you do want to grow in your life. Because the more you can focus on where you do want to go, what you do want to grow, what you want to experience, what you desire, what you wish for, what would bring you joy and happiness, the more you can focus on those things, the more your energy will go in that direction, the more your actions will be toward those. Make sure you're thinking about the future that you want to have. 9 times out of 10, we're thinking about the future we don't want, right? And we're giving strength and power to those made up futures that are ones we don't want. Well, guess what? They are just made up. So why not make up a future that you do want and spend the same amount of energy thinking about that future? Neither are real, neither are true, neither are the present moment, the negative one or the positive one. Why wouldn't you choose the positive one? No reason. We're just in the habit of thinking about the negative one, of worrying about the negative one. Break that habit. Start focusing on the positive future that you would love to experience, the kind of life you desire, the things you want to bring into your life, the quality of life that you wish for. Start thinking about that imaginary future. Put your focus on that, your energy into that, and redirect yourself toward that future instead of all those other ones. I hope you will take away from this today that it matters where we focus. It matters what we think about, and that you can redirect your focus toward that which you would like to experience and away from that which you don't want to experience, the things you don't want to crash into, the goalkeeper you don't want to kick to. Okay, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you every time. You are meant for more, above and beyond a place of struggle, positively impacting the world around you. You can get there. We can get there together. And if you liked what you heard here today, please share it on your social media so more people can come and check out what's here. That's the only way that we grow organically, from people like you sharing this with other people. And I appreciate it every time. So thanks again for being here. I'll see you next time.